Here's what's interesting. Is there anybody out there willing to defend Joe Biden now other than Jill Biden and Hunter Biden? I don't think there is. How do I know no one is out there to defend Joe Biden as this is the guy that we want to take us to the promised land once again for another 4 years in the Democrats' mind? Because they know he's toasted. They know he's done. They know he's burnt, toast, crisp, not happening. He's burnt out. He's burnt down. He's the worst. This is Shannon Breen, Fox News Sunday. They wanted someone to come on and defend Joe Biden, but apparently wasn't going to happen.
Now, before we get to our guests, I want you, the viewers at home, to know something. Our team has spent days reaching out to dozens of lawmakers and Biden advocates and allies. We've had numerous interactions with the Biden-Harris campaign. But not a single potential guest was either able or willing to join us on today's show to defend the president and his decision to stay on the ticket. So we will be having a conversation without that voice, which we have been working around the clock to avoid.
All right, so without a voice to defend the president of the United States, the Democrats are lost, folks. So how did we get to this point? Joe Biden bullied his way in. I believe early on, Barack Obama, when Hillary Clinton first ran against President Trump, Joe Biden wanted to run. Barack Obama said no. He bullies his way in. And, you know, the way the Democrats operate, they set the whole race up for him, but they've got to cover up that he's in mental decline. They think he's, old Joe, Mr. On the Block Joe, Mr. Sit at the Bar Joe, Mr. Everybody's Friendly Guy Joe. Well, he's not. He's a grumpy old man who's bitter, angry, and has real mental problems. Now, who covered for Joe Biden? Kamala Harris did. She's culpable in the position where the Democrats are, and in many respects, her covering for Joe Biden didn't just put Democrats in a bad spot. Her covering for Joe Biden put Americans in a bad spot. We now have a commander-in-chief that is a national security risk thanks to Kamala Harris, and now Democrats want to hand her the reins. She couldn't even finish in the top 5 of Democrat candidates when she was running for the presidency in that primary. Now they want to hand her the reins. You want proof that she covered for Joe Biden? Just watch this.
We have a very bold and vibrant president in Joe Biden.
But a majority of Americans, a majority of Democrats, according to our new poll, say they don't want President Biden to run again. What do you say to them?
I mean, George, I think that age is more than a chronological fact, to be very frank with you. It's about thinking about whether we have in our leader, which we do in Joe Biden, somebody who is bold. I mean, think about it. And in Joe Biden, we have a president who is probably one of the boldest and strongest American presidents we have had in his response to the needs of the American people. But he is an extraordinary leader, and I wish that people could see what I see, because there's only one person who sits behind that resolute desk.
You're 58 now. If you win second term, as you and the president are running to do, he would be 86 at the end of it. The Wall Street Journal had a poll showing 2/3 of Democrats say Joe Biden is too old to run again.
Yeah, everybody thinks Joe Biden is too old to run again. But she defended him over and over and over again, calling him bold. What is bold about him? There's nothing bold about him. He's let our enemies run wild across this globe, from Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, the nuclear missile tests out of North Korea and Iran. You've got just absolute despair on the world stage when it comes to what's going on. And that's thanks in large part to Joe Biden. And we got there because of Kamala Harris saying things like this.
Are you prepared to be commander-in-chief?
Yes, I am, if necessary. But Joe Biden is going to be fine. And let me tell you something. I work with Joe Biden every day. The work that under Joe Biden's leadership our administration has accomplished is transformative.
Two very prominent Washington Post articles today talking about President Biden's age, and that's a big concern among the young voters. And in growing poll numbers, that's a big concern. Are people right to be concerned about his age at this point?
Well, let me just say this. When I talk to these young voters, what they want is a leader who is in touch with the problems of today and has a vision for what we can do today and in the future to deal with it. President Biden is the first president to take on in any substantial way the issue of the climate crisis.
Oh, give me a break. Joe Biden is the first president in the history of the United States to literally be dementia-ridden and quite possibly suffering from Alzheimer's. You can't remember anybody's name. He had a very bad moment again over the weekend.
And I want to thank you for, I said, Bishop, it's good to be home. Please sit down.
Folks, just that right there. He's not going to make it. Democrats know he's not going to make it. So what do? They start to march out their very top Democrats, people like Adam Schiff, who were some of the staunchest allies of Joe Biden. They realized they couldn't get President Trump out of the way with the lawfare. They couldn't get him out of the way with the impeachment process. They couldn't get him out of the way with imprisoning him. I do fear the only way they're going to get him out of the way is if they try to kill him. And the Secret Service better be ready for that. They couldn't get him out of the way just by beating him fairly and squarely. So now they realize that all hope is lost with Joe Biden. They need somebody else.